Board of Selectmen's meeting to order for Monday, November the 16th, 2015. Anybody recording this meeting, please?
Free cam kit.
Oh, you didn't, yeah, okay, all right.
Either
Good.
way.
She provides the viewing.
First on our agenda is 6:00 p.m. is a continuation of the public hearing in conjunction with the Board of Assessors relative to the selection of residential favor factors to determine the percentage of tax burden to be borne by each class of property. What's the suggestions, girls? Let's have it.
Well, on behalf of the Board of Assessors, we're here to provide the Board of Selectmen with the information necessary to aid in your determination of the residential factor, which is the shift. And you will find, you just received a packet, and it should have actually 4 items. The first one is a presentation summary, which is 2 pages.
Is that this one?
No, it's the one
No,
that she
the
just
one right
had
here on your
there.
binder.
Okay.
Okay, followed by a spreadsheet, which is the classification hearing spreadsheet, which has a lot of statistical information, which we'll go over. And then the next sheet is the historic shifts that the town has chosen since 1991. Lastly is the what-if scenario, which just gives you all of the possible shifts from a 1 to a 1.50, which would be the maximum that the town could go. Okay. So fiscal 16 is an interim year for Freetown. Each year by law, all cities and towns within the state must do interim adjustments. Fiscal 16 values are calculated from the analysis of qualified sales that occurred during calendar year 2014. The values are developed by performing analysis of the sales by classification, by style, by age, location, neighborhood, etc. And then the Department of Revenue reviews and certifies the values. The town has chosen a shift of 1.43 for fiscal 15 as well as fiscal 14. Prior to that, the town has chosen a shift of 1.45 for the 8 years prior to fiscal 14. So let's see, I think probably now would be, we'll go to this sheet. And this sheet just compares fiscal 15 statistics with fiscal 16 statistics. So at the top on the left, you've got the average single-family assessed value, which for fiscal 16 is $289,633.
Yep.
200 and how much?
$289,633.
For
That's
16.
the average.
Okay, for 16.
Yes.
16.
So that's up.
Yes.
It's up
It's,
from 280, 284.5, give or take.
Okay.
yes. So I don't know if you want me to go through each line by line, you know, describe the increase or the difference. But basically, we have the same information for 2 families. 2-family for fiscal, the average 2-family for fiscal 16 is $288,113. Okay, which is also up since fiscal 15. And the average commercial is actually down slightly from fiscal 15. The average commercial is $297,685.
Why do you figure that is?
Pardon me?
Why do you figure that is?
Well, it's a
Just off the
very,
top of your
very,
head.
very slight decrease.
Yeah, it
So,
is.
I
It's
mean,
like nothing's changed.
and it's typical in the market of what's been going on. There's been an increase in residential and not a corresponding increase in the commercial. So if you look over, oh, actually, we can skip down. Let's see. If you look over toward the bottom,
Mhm.
it has information, and we can talk about what you had asked. It has the fiscal 15 levy and the fiscal 16 levy. The fiscal 16 levy is $17,577,824, which is an increase from the fiscal 15 levy of 4.2%.
What does that mean? What does the levy mean and how is it derived?
The levy is the tax burden on the town.
What do you mean by the tax burden on the town?
The amount needed that will be raised by taxation for fiscal 16,
If we keep the tax rate, the current tax rate as it is?
regardless. Regardless, that's the levy, so.
That's how much,
That needs to be raised.
that's how much we actually raise in tax monies. We establish a tax rate,
Mhm.
we match
Oh,
that
that's
up
what we're
with
gonna raise the
everybody's, that's
current
what
16,
we're
okay.
raising in
All
fiscal
right.
16.
So those are accurate figures then?
Yes.
Okay, I got it.
And that's a 4.2% increase in our levy.
Yes, it
Yes.
is.
So, okay. Now, was this what we anticipated? I don't remember what we anticipated when we did the budgets for 16.
That's everything that you spent at town meeting and what we used for estimated receipts.
So that was it? Okay,
Yes.
all right, got it.
Yes,
So 17.5 is what we're spending.
correct.
Yeah, okay.
What we're
That's-
raising,
that's
what
net-
we're
That's,
Raising through
right,
tax-
that's
through
net of any
taxation.
receipts
Yeah.
from
from the
the
state,
state.
from the
Right,
local.
okay.
Right.
All right.
Okay, so the fiscal 16 assessed value of the town is $1,207,543,980, which is up 2.6% from the assessed value of the town for fiscal 15. Residential values increased by 2.5% for fiscal 16. Single-family values increased by 3%. Commercial values increased by 0.6%. Industrial values increased by 5%, and mine's cut off. And personal property values increased by 2.8%. So collectively, if we add the CIP, the commercial, industrial, and personal property together, that is an increase in those classes collectively of 3.1% for fiscal 16.
If I was to look at real estate books, or the real estate market, or Trulio, one of those, would that reflect the same increases in property value, more or less?
If you're looking at sales.
That's
If
what
you're
I'm
looking at sales in that year,
Yeah,
And in this area.
if, in this area,
yeah.
in that year, you have to remember where our assessments are a year and a half behind
Behind.
the current, today,
So
what's
that's-
going on today.
so
Next
more
year, we
than
may
that.
even see more.
Yeah, could
And
be
you
higher
will,
than
you
that.
will see in the commercial class, you should see some significant differences because there have been plaza up here sold,
Yeah,
One Chase Road, the,
they go for 2.1 million or something. That was Padelford's property.
2.3. The one over where the New England Farms is in Asona, that's sold.
Mm.
So there have been some some significant sales in commercial real estate that are not reflected in these assessments. They will come later.
This one gets sold too, didn't it? The one in East Freetown? The Windmill
Yeah.
Farms? East Freetown, right?
No,
Well, the business may have changed hands, but not the,
Not the
Not
owner.
the real
okay.
estate.
What about a company like Will's? Is that included in the commercial thing?
that will
The
be next
kitchens
time,
bought
not
next
now,
time?
because that sale just took
Okay.
place.
All right. Interesting stuff. Really
It is.
Mhm.
It is.
We think so.
All right, I make
We're a little
a,
nerdy though.
are you guys done?
Well, almost,
Okay.
almost. Do you have any questions on what we discussed so
No,
far?
actually, this is pretty clear. It really is. Good job.
Good job, Karen.
She put it all
She's the
together,
girl.
she does this,
So,
Yes.
I did wanna discuss the new growth, which is, it's on that, the first page, it's just on the second sheet of the, presentation. And the fiscal 16 new growth figure total is $344,585. $180,668 is from the residential class.
This is new taxation, new levy.
It's in with the levy. It's in with this levy,
Okay.
okay? But it's due to new growth.
New property.
New properties.
Right,
new
Building
from
levy.
permits,
construction,
that's an
from
issue.
construction and, additions. $24,188 is from the commercial class new growth. $73,687 is from the industrial class new growth. And $66,042 is personal property new growth.
Property. How do you determine that? I mean, if somebody has a warehouse full of personal property, they say you're not getting in it because it's personal property.
They file, they're required to file paperwork, it's called a form of list. And they're required by law to disclose what they have for
Oh,
personal
okay.
property. And there are, that information's collected all over the state and it's standardized,
Oh, okay.
so,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
The excess levy capacity,
Yes,
what is that?
that is, the excess levy capacity for fiscal 16 is approximately $390,029.15. And that is the amount which could be levied in fiscal 16,
Could have been,
correct?
that we didn't
But
levy.
that you should, that the Board of Selectmen
Okay.
chose not to
Not to.
levy.
By leaving that where it is, it helps hold taxes down, I think. I mean, that's where the money belongs, in your pockets, right? If we aren't to spend it.
Unless it's needed for taxation.
Right.
Unless it's needed to operate the business.
Exactly, yeah.
Listen, I'll make a motion to hold the shift at the same level, 1.43.
I second that. I have a motion made and seconded to hold the level at 1 point, hold the tax rate shift at 1.43. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you very much, ladies. You're wonderful.
one last piece of, just circle whatever you've chosen as your shift, and initial it,
1.43.
please.
Pardon me?
Joint.
Hey, you want me to initial it? Do they have
Circle
to
it?
be my initials? Or could it-
That would be helpful.
Watch it, she's got you on camera now.
It
Karen,
would be
I
helpful.
was just
you can have him
kidding.
sign it.
Sure, if you want, sure.
I was just kidding.
And actually,
I'll just give it to Karen. Yeah, just give it to Karen. You know what? Yeah, just give it to Karen.
okay.
You think that's the right decision,
This
Joe?
is the actual form that
1.43?
gets sent into the Department of Revenue, and since you chose the 1.43, and I anticipated you might, this is an accurate,
I think if you don't have to take
Can
money
you
for
sign
levy,
here,
it's
please?
stay in the taxpayers' pockets. If you don't need it, don't spend it.
Mhm.
Besides that, we're gonna grow. This town's gonna do very well.
Who's today? Today is
Well, we
Thursday.
want that tax shift not to be substantial to the commercial as well, to attract the
This,
people
this
here,
thing that
you
we're
know?
putting together with American,
if you can just initial here, so
those
I'll
people
always
didn't
have
ask for a
it in my
tip,
ear.
nothing. And they
Well,
said
Warehouser?
they're gonna make a donation to the town for $1 a square foot. I mean, they're gonna build it out to 1 million square feet.
Who we
That's
talking about?
huge. American. You know, I trust you, Karen. You put these papers in front of me, I don't even read them.
I would not do that, that would be the end of my career.
But Paul and I both had a talk to the
24
Attorney General.
Come December
earlier.
9th, it'll be 24 years, I can't afford to,
How many years?
24.
I know you.
Thank you, Karen.
That's the kind of businesses we need to have more of those coming in, which they don't need to.
Yes. Yes, maybe more and more will. You never know.
I will make copies for you, make sure you get them tomorrow.
Okay,
Thank
all
you,
set.
Bruce.
Good night.
Appreciate your work. I
Thank
really
you.
do.
Thank you very,
Thank you.
very much.
Good to see you again.
Thank you.
Nice to see you. Same time next year,
Yes, hopefully.
if I'm here.
That goes for us too.
Yeah, I know. Okay, next on the agenda. Would anybody like to approach the board for public discussion? Anybody have anything they want to say? No? You good? Okay, moving on, the consent agenda, vote and approve the Amazon letter. We just got this letter today, and really haven't got a chance to discuss it or talk about it. And it's pretty much a letter to Amazon. I think it has to do with our blue laws and how they're gonna be enforced, or whether they're gonna be enforced. But I think the board as a whole needs to talk about it, and one of our members isn't here. So I'd like to put that on the agenda for next meeting, Paul, if you're agreeable.
I'm fine with that.
So could we make a motion to postpone that to the next meeting?
So moved.
I have a motion made to postpone the Amazon letter, conversation about that till the next meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's done. Board of Selectmen, next on our agenda is an open meeting law complaints from October the 30th, 2015. Patrick Higgins, who's an attorney in the western part of the state, acknowledges receipts of 4 complaints and the review and act on such complaints. Any conversation about that, Mr. Sadik?
No, what are we supposed to do?
I think we're just supposed to acknowledge that we got them.
I thought we had to have a response.
Council to prepare the response that was in your packet, and you just have to say if you want to answer with that response. There was
the
a
one-
letter in the,
That's the one that Joe Fair put together.
I believe Mark Rich and.
Mark Rich.
I make a motion that we,
Well, first of all, let's talk a little bit about these open meeting law complaints.
yes,
Okay, 3 complaints were filed because we had daytime meetings at the town hall that nobody attended. But the person who isn't even from Freetown said that you can't have them because you don't have an elevator where a handicapped person can go upstairs. Just to go on record that in the past, if anybody ever came to a daytime meeting, we would shift the meeting downstairs into the assessors' conference room. But I guess in the future, we'll just have to post them for the assessors' conference room. That's one of the, those 3 of the open meeting law complaints. The 4th open meeting law complaint was that the board went into executive session without the name of the person we were talking about. Well, it didn't happen because the board didn't go into executive session because the board noticed that the name wasn't on there. So there was no executive session. So that's what these things are all about, so the public that listens to this stuff knows. Now, what do we gotta do here? We have to respond. I don't see one for us to sign, Ally, here. I see one that, is this to approve Mark Rich's response?
Yes, he prepared a response. for
Okay,
you.
he prepared the response.
Yep.
right,
And all we have to do is give him the okay?
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, I'll make a motion to allow Mark Rich to respond to these.
I have a motion, I'll second that. I have a motion made to respond, let Mark Rich respond to these open meeting law complaints. As the letter indicates, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, we've got next on our agenda is to approve the abatements from October 15th as submitted by the fire chief. Try to find them here.
Motion to approve the abatements. In the amount
I'll second.
of $22,023.92.
How much is it?
$22,023.92. These are ambulance abatements for people that do not have insurance, or their insurance doesn't cover the transportation to the hospital or whenever they needed the ambulance.
We pretty much write it off if they don't have insurance for their ambulance rides. So I have a motion made, and I second that, as stated by Selectman Sadik. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next on our agenda is to approve the minutes for October 9th, 2015, October 14th, 2015. October 19th, 2015, October 26th, 2015, 27, 2015, and November 2nd, 2015. Need a motion to approve as read.
Motion to approve, if it's okay to me.
I have a motion made to approve the Selectmen's minutes as read. All in favor?
Did you second it?
I second it.
Oh, all in favor, aye.
Quick,
I
aye.
guess so.
Quick, going right through this. Okay, Board of Health is next. Are you still the chair of the Board of Health, or you're
Oh, yeah.
on to personnel?
No, I guess I'm personnel tonight too. Well,
Okay.
Board of Health.
First on that agenda is
Good
to
evening.
discuss proposed new health regulations. Health agent, Mr. Kevin Bernardo.
Good evening.
How are you
evening.
guys?
Good evening.
So how are you?
Hello.
So what's up?
We're doing the, mine first, right?
Yours is first, sir.
All right, I reached out to the parties, I've seen some correspondence going back and forth. Those individuals couldn't make it tonight. And that's all I got to report.
I make a motion that we hold this off
Oh,
until,
one sec.
Sorry, can I just add something to this? I know that he called, Kevin and I have been working pretty closely together recently, and I know that he called Mr. King. But from working over at the police station, it's, the other main complaint is Mr. Chase. The school bus calls all the time about that, because he hangs in. So I didn't know if you guys knew that it should be maybe more than one person that.
I make a motion to put this aside until the next meeting, until that gentleman can come before the board.
Do we want to invite anybody else to the meeting, since there was other complaints?
You can invite whoever you want.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, my concern is, I'm tired of more regulations, plain and simple. And because we have an issue with one individual that doesn't wanna play fairly, we're gonna impose regulations on everybody in town. I would like to have these people here in front of us, so we can discuss this and say, listen, don't antagonize your neighbor.
That's beautiful, yeah.
Okay. That's my motion to, hold it up till the next meeting.
I second that. We have a motion made and seconded to put this off to the next meeting, and hopefully the people who we want to discuss this with can make it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So we'll put this off until the next meeting.
How would you like to inform these individuals, by a letter or a phone call? or-
Pick them up and file. Well,
We'll send them a letter. We'll send them a letter from the Board of Selectmen.
I think we did that before, and I had heard one of the parties was hunting, and then I heard it was in the hospital.
One has a,
So I'm not sure
is
what's
out
going on.
hunting, and the other one has a family obligation because of a surgery.
Surgery, right.
Okay.
So, I mean,
I think the best thing to do is deal with people face to face and get it all out there, and either play nice or don't play nice.
yeah,
The thing is, if you don't play nice, you have the horsepower to.
I just don't wanna put in regulations, change regulations, add regulations that's gonna affect everybody, because you've got two people that can't get along.
Right.
Now,
My turn. So, we gave you a copy of the new, they're not really new. It's basically just rewriting these to kind of up to today's standards. Like this is from 1977. Every owner or keeper of 4 or more horses in the town of Freetown shall register with the Board of Health and obtain a stable license. That was changed in 2011. And there should be 1 or more. Anybody that
Who
has.
changed it?
The Board of Selectmen.
The Board of Selectmen
And
changed
we
it?
changed the fee to the $30.
What year was that?
I believe it was 2011.
Okay, that's right, because we were talking about stable inspections, that's
Yeah.
right, okay.
this
That's
would be,
exactly it.
yeah, I was reading this, and in 2011, we instituted a barn fee for $30, so.
Because I have to go out, per the state, and inspect every single barn in this, in the town of Freetown, and submit that. So, they did it was kind of before I was really here, but they did kind of a survey of what the other towns were doing, I believe. I think you were on the board then, right?
I was on the board when, I think right at the tail end, when they implemented the, what do they call it, the bond book or something?
Yeah,
Okay, For people
that's
that
from the
had
state.
horses.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's not horses, it's everything. I have to have a census. It's not a, like, for the state, oh, your barn is bad, your barn is good. It's a census. I have to count every single chicken, every single rabbit, every single dog, every single horse
This is the state mandated.
for the state. And it's due to, in an emergency or a disaster situation,
Yeah, if you have to
say,
evacuate.
if we need to evacuate, exactly. They know that we have, say, 40 horses in town that are gonna need to be relocated.
State paying for this?
The state pays for what?
Is the state paying for these, for the census?
No.
Who's gonna pay for the census? Who pays? The town?
Yeah, it comes out of her.
I mean,
Comes out of your
it's something I do
Okay.
in my.
All right, comes out of your budget?
Right,
Okay.
yeah. So in order to have a barn, to kind of keep track of that, the residents have what's called a stable permit or barn permit, and that's what the $30 is.
Now, what constitutes a barn?
Anything that is holding livestock, any kind of livestock.
So you're telling me that if a person has a chicken coop with 6 chickens in it, that's a barn?
It wouldn't be a barn, I guess, no, you're right, I wouldn't say that was a barn, it
Or
would be a
somebody
chicken
has
coop.
8 or 10 rabbits, and little rabbit, is that a barn?
I would not say it was a barn, I would say it was a rabbit
So-
hutch.
Okay, so you don't have to inspect those because they're
I
not
do,
barn.
no, I do, because I have to write down, oh, you have 10 rabbits, and I have to answer all the questions, is it clean, is there adequate lighting, is there adequate shelter, is there adequate access to water? I have to answer all that on that state
When
form.
was the last time we did this?
A year ago, it's
You
done
came
every
out
year.
and saw everybody's chicken coops and
Yes.
everybody's?
As many as that I know about, yeah,
We find them here and there. We found the ones on Middleborough Road.
because
Cow-
the
a
pigs
cow
got out,
crossed-
I
no, it
didn't
was
know
the
they
cow.
had the
The
animals.
cow crossed the road, and that's how we
Well,
found out there was all kinds of
I wanna get back
animals.
to my original point of regulations.
But it's not a new regulation.
Chickens and asking people to pay $30 so you can come out and inspect if they have chickens, or if they have a couple of goats. That's what it says on the last page. I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
Do you, I don't know if I have the barn book with me in the truck, and I can show you, it lists every single thing that I have to do.
You can do it, but you don't have to charge the people for a permit.
Okay, we're the only town that doesn't do it.
Well, I don't
so-
care.
Okay.
I mean, if I can't have 6 chickens in my yard, if I wanna get eggs, I mean, I gotta pay $30? That's craziness. It's craziness. I've been here 41 years, and I'm one of the short timers.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to raise chickens and rabbits. Nobody ever came and looked at what I had.
I know, but it's not,
It is, this is still Freetown, this is still the country. This is still Freetown, and it's still the country.
I agree, I live in Lakeville, I live on a
Okay.
farm. I pay $200 a year to have my
You
animals.
should move to Freetown.
I should,
There you go.
okay.
As a reporting requirement, like I have to report for the food, the camps, she has to report to the state
Yeah.
on that.
That's fine. You can do the reports. But I don't think people need to pay $30 if they wanna have half a dozen chickens. Or they have a couple of goats. I don't think it's right.
How many people, Lisa, off the top of your head, are paying the $30?
We have 30, I think I just sent out 38 letters for their inspections.
Are they
And
all gonna
some-
pay?
They do,
All of them?
yeah.
So
All the
we're
farmers
talking-
pay too?
We're talking about what, $1,500, $1,200 in permit fees?
I understand the part of the bond, that's not a problem, okay, of the horses.
Mhm.
And I understand the part about pigs and piggeries, I don't have a problem with that.
Mhm.
I have a problem with care and keeping of a cow, goats, and poultry.
Okay,
So, with that in mind, I'm not gonna make any motions regarding this,
okay.
unless you wanna take and modify it, because I have a problem with continually taking money from our residents. They pay enough taxes, they don't get a lot of services, and if somebody wants to have a few chickens, and they're gonna have to pay $30, now, if they don't pay it, what,
Okay.
you're gonna write them a citation.
So, okay, I get what you're saying, I understand completely.
Isn't that what you're
And
gonna do?
I agree, right.
Okay.
So, my question would be, for me to fulfill my obligation with the state, how do I know that those people have chickens?
Somebody tells you about it. You think every person that has chickens is gonna go down and get a permit for $30? Absolutely, positively not. I wouldn't do it.
And then, okay.
Then you can come write me a citation, you know? You know, you
I
get
know, but
my
I don't,
point.
I
You
do
get
get
my
your
point.
point, I do, Paul, I do get your point. I mean, I'm not gonna go write somebody a citation because they got 6
We don't
chickens because
need
they
more
want
rules
eggs.
and regulations. We've got enough. All we do is keep adding rules and regulations.
So the key is, how do you count them?
Exactly.
The state mandates that we count them, I understand that. And my posture would be, maybe we should count them, but waive the $30 fee if somebody's got.
Yep, and that's okay, I'm fine with that.
I think it'd be fair if somebody had chickens to have her, let her know that they had them, as long as they didn't have to pay any extra money for it.
So we have to notify all the inhabitants of the town that if you get some chickens, or you get some rabbits, or you get a couple of goats, you gotta call in. I don't like that.
I don't
I
know
don't
the
like
answer
that.
is to that, but I mean,
You're not gonna get a motion from me on this at all. Not with those, not with the last page. If you wanna take the last page out, I'll gladly make a motion on the first two. but I'm
okay,
not gonna make
well,
a
I would
motion.
take the last page out and maybe redo that part,
Okay.
see if I can come up with some solution that will work. I want this in writing for the stables, because those,
Then I won't make the motion until you come up with with your next version,
okay,
okay?
that-
There you go.
Think it through. Actually, you should communicate with Mr. Sadik as to what he finds plausible.
I mean, I just come from,
Considering he's the chairman of the Board of Health
I
anyway.
just come from you know, I used to raise chickens, I used to raise rabbits. I mean, when my kids were small, I didn't have to get a permit, I didn't have to have somebody come out and count
When
what
I moved to
had.
Lakeville, I didn't have to get a
Well,
permit for my horses.
Well, I just,
Now
I
pay
wanna keep it
$200,
that way in
so.
Freetown, as long as I can.
Okay, and do you, I'm asking, do you have any ideas of how I can keep track of that
No, that's-
for the state?
No,
Okay,
if you know of people that have them, go count their chickens,
it has to be, okay.
go count their chickens.
So we can't do any of this?
Not if you're gonna come back with a revised thing on the chickens, I'm not gonna make a motion for that. I'm not gonna make a motion to adopt part of it and then come back later on and deal with the other
Alright,
stuff, so.
I'll do that, and then that whole section will be, okay.
But if you just want the first two sections, I'll make the motion to adopt it without the third and be done with the third.
Well, I can take out for the permit fee, but the rest of it I wanna add, it's not in the actual regulation book, that if somebody goes to the town hall and says it's from 1977, all it says under poultry is, food shall be keep or cause to keep the buildings and premises clean. The rest of this is how the state is, what's the word I want,
Mandating.
I guess mandated, that's not the word I was thinking, but yeah.
Well, their regulations, this is what they want you to do, it's a mandate.
Yeah, it's a mandate, and they want people to pay for their mandate, that they never pay for anyway. So my feeling is, I'm not gonna make the motion at all tonight.
All right, I'll just redo that, and then I'll come back. Okay,
So I guess
Fair
a
enough.
description of what's in the bond and
fair enough.
The bottom line here is that, I guess if I haven't stated my case correctly, I'm tired of more and more regulations, and I'm tired of more and more permit fees. And I don't think the people of Freetown need to be burdened any further with more permits and so forth.
I'm fine with that. My problem is, how do I find out where these animals are?
If you don't know where they are, you can't report on them.
And then
Plain
if
and
we have a
simple.
disaster,
Yeah, well, you know what, we'll worry about the disaster when
okay,
it happens.
that's fine.
That's my feeling.
that's their reason behind it.
Right, that's, I'm just
To
going by what's told
evacuate,
to me to be
to know
done.
what's out there, because part of our plan now is, besides sheltering for individuals,
I have to shelter
we have to shelter the animals. It's mandated.
You're
We have-
gonna bring chickens to the
No, we have to come
shelter?
up with, well, first of all, we have to take their pets, we have to take their pets.
Well, chickens aren't pets.
It'd be great for
Yes,
the hospital to
but
be
when
fixed.
just say we have a disaster, we have to take these individuals and their pets and find a suitable place for
So when you
those
go down the
animals out there.
street to the farm that has 15 cows, you're gonna take those 15 cows to the shelter?
That's not,
No, we're just, but just say with.
We need to
with-
know that they're
yeah,
there,
but-
we're taking the people, and then we can say, okay, we have 15 cows, we
Listen.
have,
Freetown's been around since 16, what,
82.
okay?
I know we can put them. We got a paddock that was established
That's
in
right.
about 1650,
On High Street.
and it's still on our bylaws. We have a charter, we have to
good, I could've
maintain.
used that the other day when the horses were
There you
loose.
go.
That's what we can put the goats and pigs in.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff came with Katrina.
Oh, I'm sure.
They had animals just dying.
I understand
They
that.
we were saving lives, but we were leaving everything else behind. So, they wanted to be more proactive and said, this is what we need. As, in the health department, we need to make sure we're in compliance. That's why we're just coming up with different ideas. There are regulations in here already, we were just trying to modify them. Same thing with the other one, those regulations are in place, we were just looking to,
You wanna add more regulations.
we were just trying to make it where, because there's no, it's gray. When you look at these regulations, I can go to somebody's house and say, with that one, with hanging the dead deer, it just says you're not supposed to do that.
You wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for a fight between two neighbors.
But we had those other complaints too on
School bus
Chase Road.
drivers.
So if we just say,
Well,
okay, keep
because,
it back.
wait a minute, because the complaints on Chase Road, because somebody came by and they saw a deer that was legally shot hanging from a tree to be cured? You wanna deal with that?
The one on the, well, you
The
get, you
the
get
hunter has the
complaints.
right,
Yes,
okay.
and again, it's not to take rights away.
So I guess we're not gonna see a motion on this, Bruce.
Okay.
Aren't these the people from,
Yeah. I'll explain to him.
Okay. Moving on, did you have something else you wanted to discuss?
That was it from us.
That's it? So you're gonna communicate with the chairman of the Board of Health?
Okay.
Okay. Well, I guess we handle that.
listen, you know, when you talk about this, it's hunting season. I don't hunt,
Yeah,
but if my neighbor hunts and they get a deer and they have to hang it to cure it,
I'm fine with that.
and the school bus comes by, we live in the country.
Can you add to that? It's not just a hanging of them.
Listen, I'm talking about something else, okay?
I'm sorry.
Your situation is 100% different because you've got two neighbors, you and your neighbor, fighting. And when the next time we have a meeting, we're gonna invite you people and your neighbor in to resolve this.
I think that's the best way to do it.
Okay,
Thank you, board.
all right. Did you understand what Mr. Sadik was gonna, what he was saying? We're gonna invite your neighbor and yourself in.
He won't
It's
show
not
up.
gonna, it's not gonna happen. The courts, when we went to court, it was a joke, okay?
He knows
Because
you.
we went to his wife's
Could
court
you
meeting.
come up here and identify yourself, please?
I'm Darlene
Where's the
Fernandez,
state?
72 Bullock Road. When we went to court, it was a joke.
Didn't we just talk to you?
Yes, my husband was
Okay.
there. We were here last
Let me
week.
tell you where the board is on this.
I just wanted protection,
Our
so
health
I don't have to
agent-
look at it going down my driveway.
Our health
He's doing
agent,
it out of spite, it's all it is. It's a lot of spite.
let me speak here. Our health agent has brought us up to speed, you brought us up to speed. He's proposed a change in the regulations to
30 feet,
restrict
Yeah, 25.
25.
25 feet from your boundary of your property. However, this is what the board's position is. There's enough rules and regulations in this town, there's enough permits in this town. They've been piling up since 1682. So we would like to know, I would like everybody to know, that if we're forced to, we will institute that regulation.
I'd be-
We would like not to have to do that because it affects everybody in the town.
I
When we,
understand.
and that may not, it may affect people who don't have an issue. That's gonna be our posture on this. Either do the right thing, or this regulation's gonna be, either way, I think you'll be happy with the outcome.
The EPO couldn't even do anything about 6 stairs hanging in my face for 9 months. For almost 9 months, they were hanging in my face. We kept piling up the snow so I wouldn't have to look at it.
What about post-hunting season?
I can understand them, I can understand, I love animals. I will dry skin, I would dry my skin, I love to have, I have a fox in my own house. I had a deer's head, we actually gave it to my neighbor, because we know how we couldn't look at it, because it looked so, it was too much for me. We gave it to him. I mean, it's only on a spite, it's,
But it's gonna
And-
come to an end.
I wish it would come to an end, but it's been going on, it's still going on. Till this day, it's still going on.
I
wish it would
promise you
stop.
this, we're gonna invite, but,
I
they
don't,
were-
I don't think
we
they'll show.
invited them here
That's
this
the only thing,
evening.
I don't think they'll show. If they show,
Well,
they will walk out.
whether they show or not, the board will take action.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it, because something has to be done. Because, I mean, we've done everything by the law.
But-
We've gone through everything, any which way we could do it.
Ma'am, but listen to what you just said. You said that even the environmental police
Because he
officers
had it hung
couldn't
by a
do
tag.
anything, couldn't do anything, right? But
Until-
but you come to the Board of Selectmen in Freetown, and you want us to implement a regulation that's gonna affect every hunter that lives in Freetown, because you and your neighbor can't get along.
But it's a
That's what you're
regulation.
It's a
asking us for.
regulation in the books, if the EPO.
There's no regulation in the book that says it has to be more than, that it has to be so many
But
feet
it's
from
supposed to be
the
hung
property line.
in a proper way.
I understand.
And
What I'm
everything
saying
he
to you,
did was-
I am just telling you how I look at it. I don't want that two neighbors fighting affect everybody else in
Yeah,
town that are
I don't
hunters.
even talk to the man.
Can I just speak to you as the wife of a hunter and an NRA member?
You should
I'm an
also-
NRA member also.
So the NRA has a code of ethics.
Mhm.
And if you are an ethical hunter, you would abide by these standards. So you're supposed to show sportsmanship.
You,
Yeah.
I know that,
we
man.
talked about this the last time
Right,
you
you
were
said
here,
the
you
same
got the
thing.
pictures, the whole nine.
Yes,
yards.
so-
That's what
If,
let me just say, that's what precipitated
yep,
us considering changing the rules on which people are gonna dry their deer.
yeah.
Now,
So
we've already discussed all that,
as most hunters,
and we
you wouldn't
will,
be
we
like
will,
this,
we
so it
will
wouldn't
act
affect.
accordingly.
Most hunters wouldn't be affected by this whole new law, because nobody else in the town would be, I
Well,
mean, I
you know
know
what you
how,
gotta read?
I've gone by Chase Road.
You know what you
I've
gotta
seen
read,
what they
there's a
say.
book called Unintended Consequences about governments that make laws and pass regulations, and then go, oh, I never thought in a million years that was
Or
gonna
if
happen.
we can do something post-hunting season, like, not how you hang your deer, but, I mean, if it's decomposing and.
That's a health hazard, and that's covered by our regulations.
It was, we had to look at the rest
It
of
was
that
very
deer.
hard to get those deers
Decomposing
taken
on a
down.
noose, on a noose. All 6 deers were on a noose.
Have you talked to your neighbor?
I don't associate with them because I don't even want to, I can't.
We were
Because
told not
Let's
to.
We were told not to because they
Just-
put,
Let's
they
just,
went after us first.
you heard
They
our,
put
Okay, Mom.
charges on
Mom,
us. I know,
Mom,
Mom,
calm
enough.
down here a second.
I'm sorry.
You know what our posture is in this. We're gonna move. You've made your point twice here. I
I
understand,
appreciate it.
and that's all you gotta know, is we're gonna
Yeah.
move in this one way or the other.
And I'll just wait for the next meeting
That's-
that you
I think
guys do,
that's more than
because
fair.
that's where we're
But
gonna
you
have to
gotta, you know,
stand.
we would prefer, for many stated reasons, why we don't wanna put a law in the books or a regulation that we don't have to. If we have to, that's a different thing. But these unintended consequences you have with regulations and rules, that, we just don't wanna get into that. But if we have to, we will.
I appreciate it.
That's
I
good.
really do, and then what would be the next meeting that he'd have to show up?
When's our next meeting,
December 15th.
December
Now, is he
15th.
gonna be notified by mail, phone
We're
call?
gonna send him a letter, just like we're gonna send you a letter
Okay.
and anybody else that we're gonna invite
Okay.
from
Yeah,
the Board of
You may
Selectmen.
ask Mr. Bernardo to follow it up with a phone call, just in case he loses his letter.
Okay, yeah.
Now, that's fair and equitable,
Because,
and it satisfies our desire not to institute any more regulations, but if we have to, we have to.
and this would be his only chance to come to this meeting, and
This is
if
his
he-
second chance. He was invited to this one.
Oh, okay.
So, that's all we're gonna do at this
That'll be
particular
fine with me.
point.
I appreciate your time.
Thanks for coming,
And
Mom.
I wish I wouldn't even have to bother you with this, but, you know, some people, I don't even wanna go into it.
Lisa
I
made
get it, I get it, you're on the kick, I get it,
Send it
I get it.
Certified
You
mail.
do.
So they have
to
to,
sign.
I appreciate your time, I really do.
What we're gonna do, we have to do.
Listen,
We'll clean this up one way or the other, you
Yeah,
know?
even if it's not a during hunting season law, if it's something about if it's something the Board of Health can handle, because decomposing
Do you know,
animal skins.
That's already in
for
there.
years,
Yeah, and that's already in the
Decomposing's already
regulations.
in the regs.
That's the only time I could act was EPO wouldn't touch it
Mhm.
because they said, oh, it's still cold out. But numerous times, the police department was there, wasted resources, we were there constantly. Finally, when the weather broke, that's when we have a regulation in there that says it can't be offensive, health hazard, so we proceeded with that. And this was only just to say, I'm not trying to deter any hunters, just move it slightly back where, again, out of sight, out of mind. If they didn't see it, nobody would care.
It's in my face so bad.
So again, with everyone, with every hunter, out of sight, out of mind, we don't care.
Listen, I'm not gonna go for regulations on everybody to solve a neighbor problem.
I understand.
Out of my
I don't know how
garage.
much more I can say.
okay.
That's not my,
So we're
that's
good?
not my process,
I'm good,
We're good.
yep.
way I'm gonna do it.
What time, no, we're gonna get a letter so we'll know when
Yeah.
to do
And
it.
we'll send them certified mail to everybody with a return receipt.
That's good.
Okay, that'll be great with return.
Go have
Okay, I
a
appreciate your
glass of
time.
wine, get back,
They don't
and
drink.
watch reruns of the Patriots game.
Yeah, yesterday was a big.
Thanks for coming in, we
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
I forgot about this side.
Well, you want personnel?
Yeah, go ahead.
We have personnel issues. Our personnel board chairman is not here. She chose to go to a meeting in Fall River regarding drug addiction. That's why she's not here. So I'll take over for her on the personnel board side. We have a letter of recommendation from the interim treasurer, Jeff Cannon. We had posted a assistant treasurer position for the town hall, and we had one applicant. The applicant is Jessica Thomas. Jessica Thomas took over as the temporary treasurer when our other treasurer stopped her employment with the town of Freetown. And his recommendation is to appoint Jessica Thomas as the assistant treasurer for the town of Freetown. How it works is that the interim treasurer or regular treasurer can make a recommendation to the Board of Selectmen for an assistant treasurer or assistant collector, and then the board ratifies it. So with his recommendation to us, I make a motion that we appoint Jessica Thomas to assistant treasurer.
I have a motion made, and I'll second that, to appoint Jessica Thomas based on Jeff Cannon's recommendation, to appoint her to an interim or assistant, the assistant treasurer's position. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Opposed? Okay.
Okay. The next thing on the agenda here is, notice is hereby given that the Board of Selectmen is seeking applications for the position of senior clerk in the treasurer/collector's office. The position is a 36-hour-a-week position. Hourly pay rate is $15.67. That's the starting hourly pay rate. It requires municipal experience preferred and computer proficiency. Applications and job descriptions are available at the Board of Selectmen's office. Completed applications must be returned to the Board of Selectmen's office by Wednesday, November 25th at 4 p.m. This position is being advertised because one of our employees is retiring. The next thing I have on the agenda is an employee change of status form. This is a change of status form for Robert Klebecka, veterans agent. This here implements the cost of living increase that was approved at the special town meeting. The rate of pay goes from $11,000 a year to $11,165 a year. Also, change, I guess we need to, I'll make the, you wanna make the motion on that one before I go?
I'll make a motion to increase Mr. Kovecki's salary from $11,000 to $11,165. based on the contract.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nobody opposed. Okay, the next one is for the same reason. At the special town meeting, the taxpayers of Freetown voted to award people that work under the personnel bylaw section of our town bylaws a 1.5% increase. The tree warden, Morris D. Moranville, his salary was $20.18 an hour. He is, with the increase, he's going to $20.48 an hour. He is a elected official, and he also was given a 1.5% increase by the
Make a
people of
motion.
Freetown.
Make a motion to increase his pay from $20.18 an hour to $20.48 an hour.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next thing on the agenda is fine outstanding gentleman here that I happen to have gone to college with, Ken Wilkins, who was on our finance committee and been on the finance committee for a long time. We need to.
Not that long.
Well, not as long as old as we are.
True.
The regional school finance committee has to have a representative from the FinCom as well as the Board of Selectmen. And the gentleman that was the representative no longer wants to be the representative from FinCom on the regional finance committee, so Ken Wilkins has offered to do it. So this is an appointment. We, the selectmen of the town of Freetown, by virtue of the authority vested in us by the laws of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, do hereby appoint you. Kent Wilkins, Regional Finance Committee, expiration date is June 30th, 2016. So we have a motion to do that.
Motion to appoint Ken Wilkins to the Regional Finance Committee.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we'll give you a big raise.
Yeah,
10% raise.
10% over what I
10
get now.
times 0 is 0.
Exactly.
You got it.
Exactly. Do I have to get sworn in on this deal, or we're all set with that?
You gotta go, you know, I think you might have to go see Jackie.
All right.
All right?
You gotta get vetted, and then there's 2 weeks in Marine camp. So when you're getting beat up on the finance committee, it won't hurt as bad. So, that's it for personnel?
No, there's one more. It might be even more than one.
No,
There is
I-
one more.
yeah.
Stephanie L. Brum is a dispatch trainee at the Communications Center. And now she's going to be promoted to part-time dispatch communications. Her rate of pay as a trainee was $13.87. Her new rate of pay is $15.81. Submitted by, I assume, the police chief?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll make a motion, we sign the change of status report for Stephanie Brum.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. That ends my spiel about
New business. Anybody here for new business? We've got dates for the upcoming Board of Selectmen's meetings.
Oh,
So-
1 second. This thing that we got today, you want that read into the record?
Oh, you can enter that regarding Amazon, is it?
No, this has to do with police department.
Oh, from
Retiree.
patrolman? Sure, that's,
You want that read into the record?
Oh.
Okay, can I step back, Chairman?
Yep, back to personnel.
November 16th, 2015, the Chief of Police, Carlton Abbott Esquire, has sent us a letter from Patrolman Donald Bullock, longtime patrolman in the town. Says, I, Donald Bullock, do tender my letter of retirement effective December 1st, 2015. This retirement date is to include using remaining accrued personal and vacation time. I have decided to exercise my retirement option earlier based on the current staffing levels of the Freetown Police Department. I can no longer in good faith continue to perform my duties without a supervisor assigned to my shift. Given the current environment surrounding law enforcement, I feel it is to a detriment to continue to operate in such a manner. On weekends and holidays, I have been forced into a supervisory position which I did not ask for, nor want to be responsible for. After addressing these concerns with you, Chief Abbott, your suggestion of me moving to a different shift is not an alternative that would work for me at this point. I feel this leaves me with the only option of tendering my letter of retirement to you and the Board of Selectmen. I therefore request the Board of Selectmen accept my letter of retirement at this time. Motion to accept?
Motion to accept is read.
Okay, I just want to make a couple of comments. Didn't Officer Bullock, he applied for the early retirement incentive?
Yes.
Right, so he currently is, how long ago did he do that?
I think about a year ago.
About a year ago, okay. Okay. All right, I'll second it. All in favor? Aye. That's it. Now I'm done.
Now you're done. Moving on to new business, the dates for the upcoming Board of Selectmen's meeting, December the 14th. With Lakeville, the Board of Selectmen on December the 15th. The 14th with Lakeville, the 15th here. January the 11th, 16, January the 25th, 16, February the 8th, 2016, and February the 22nd, 2016. That good?
I'm
Moving
sure
on to-
we'll have something else in between that.
Moving on to old business, the water agreement.
I think,
That's still,
well, I think we'll change in the city of Fall River with the new mayor.
Yeah.
I think our attorneys will begin their
reach out to him.
reaching out, yes.
Okay. With that ends our select board meeting, open meeting. And at this point, we're gonna move into executive session.
Want to make a motion?
And not come back into open session, so that will be the end of the meeting.
Under Mass General Law, C-30A, Section 21A, in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel, to conduct contract negotiations with non-union personnel, specifically Police Chief Carlton Abbott. To make that motion,
Motion made, and I'll second it, to move into executive session. All in favor?
and not to go back into open session.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Mr. Sadik?
Yes.
Mr. Baumgartner, yes.